Hey guys, it's Arthur, and today we're going to be looking at how water temperature affects espresso. In this video, we're going to discuss a little bit of how we think water temperature affects espresso, and then we're going to go in and I'm going to actually try the same beans at maybe 4 or 5 different water temperature levels. I'm going to waste my beans so you don't have to. So, how should we expect water temperature to affect the taste of espresso? You know, a lot of people say between 90 and 95 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but you can convert it. They say that that's kind of the optimum range for espresso, and there's a reason for that. The basic thing that affects the flavor of the coffee that you make, whether it's water temperature, grind level, or extraction time, it basically boils down to how much of the bean are you extracting? If you extract a little bit, you're going to get a much different taste than if you extract it more fully. And if you extract it too much, well, you're going to get some flavors you don't really like in there. I learned this from Lance Hedrick's YouTube video. I'll put a link to it up here, so please check that out if you can. But basically, when you're using hot water to erode the coffee bean, to extract flavor from the coffee bean, you're basically going in a set of 3 stages. The first stage is going to be sour or even salty. Well, that's what he says, but I think it tastes more like sour. And then the next stage of that is going to be what he calls sweet. And then the stage after that is what he calls bitter. So, like he does in his video, sour, sweet, bitter, sour, sweet, bitter. And so what we want to do is we want to figure out how much of the coffee bean we should extract to get that optimal flavor. And water temperature is important for that. You know, the higher water temperature, the more energy is in the water, the more that coffee is going to erode, and you're going to get a fuller extraction. But if it's too high, you're going to extract too much and get those bitter flavors. However, when you don't have enough high of a water temperature, you don't extract enough and you tend to go towards the sour end of the spectrum. So we're going to be looking at that together. So today I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be pulling the same shot off of the same beans on 4 different water temperatures. It's going to be 15 grams in, 30 grams out. I'm going to try to achieve an extraction time of about 30 seconds. And I'm going to go at 100 or 99 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Celsius, 90 degrees Celsius, and then 80 degrees Celsius. And I'm actually going to try it with cold water, and we'll see what happens. So just today, I have these beans from Caldi. Caldi is a very pretty typical coffee shop where you can buy beans by the ounce or by the pound in Tokyo. And so I'm just using these. These are kind of cheap, so I'm going to be making a lot of coffee and not all of it's going to be tasting really good. So I'm going to be using these beans today. So these coffee beans are smack dab in the middle. They're a medium roast and they're not particularly fresh. And so today I'm going to be using, on my EasyPresso GX Pro, I'm going to be using a grind setting of 163. Hopefully it'll show up. Of 163, just because I found that that works for these beans. You're going to have to check on your own what your setting is, but for this, it's going to be 163. Perfect. Okay, proper puck prep. Just gonna push down lightly so the grounds don't overflow. And just come out like this. Use my thumb and my 4 fingers on both sides. You'll see here. Spin it around a bit. Do it again. You'll see here that there's actually quite a bunch of, there's actually like probably close to a centimeter of space between the top and the bottom here. And that's just because, well, this is a medium roast, and so it's going to be denser, so it's not going to overflow. If you're doing this with a darker roast, it's probably going to be overflowing. There's not going to be much more space here, but I talk about that in another video. Okay, great. This is at 100 degrees Celsius now. So I'm just going to preheat a little bit. Okay, so now this is at 99 degrees Celsius. I've just reheated it back up. And we're going to do 15 grams in, 15 grams out, just like shared before. Okay. All right. This is really hot. Okay. All right. Well, let's get the pressure going. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Okay. Oh, got a little bit of channeling going. Okay, great. First of all, just look at that. First of all, just look at that crema right there. Ooh. I mean, I know crema doesn't really add to the taste, but it sure looks nice. Okay. This definitely has a lot of bitterness to it, but it's not too bad, actually. Um, yeah, it doesn't have a lot of that full body that I want, but okay, now I'm getting kind of a stronger bitter aftertaste on it. Let me take another sip. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of bitterness there. Okay. Yeah, so here's the thing, right? So if you go too high, if you go too high, you're going to get that fuller extraction, which is more, like I said, you're going to get a lot more bitterness in that, and that's what I really feel here. So yeah, let's try and do it at 95 next time. All right. Turn the pressure gauge once again. It's going to be this is going to be 15 in, 30 out. Ready? Okay. First, I'm going to stir this. Okay. So in this one, wow. Okay, wow. Okay. And so in this one, there was a little bit of channeling. So I have a little bit of an uneven extraction, but I can tell you that the bitterness is a lot weaker on this one. I actually got a little bit more of a fruity flavor from this. I mean, there's not much here just because of the type of beans that it is, but I definitely got more of that pleasurable kind of, not necessarily tangy or acidic, but I got more of that, not even sweet, but it's hard to describe. It's like fruity, a little bit tarty, not necessarily an unpleasant sourness, but the kind of taste that I like from medium roast is in here. Now these coffee beans themselves, they're not super exotic, so they're not super fruity. They have a nice little bit of bitterness, nuttiness to them, but this bitterness is really kept to a low note. This is much more enjoyable than the first one. Okay, all right. Next one that we're gonna do is at 90 degrees. This is kind of just a tip you want to do. You want to open it sideways so that you don't get a lot of hot water on your hands. I learned that the hard way. Okay. These books are coming out so great now compared to last video. This is wonderful. I'm so happy. I guess the coffee gods appreciate my videos. And also, I just want to take this time. If you guys want to learn anything else about coffee and about how to make coffee and how it affects it, remember, I'm doing this channel so that you guys don't have to waste your beans. I waste my beans so you don't have to. So if you want me to do a type of experiment, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to do that. If it requires buying an equipment, I'd request that you guys check out my Patreon just to help support this because I love this, but I only have enough money right now for this guy and my Easy Presso for now. So much appreciated. Everything's going to be exactly the same. It's just going to be on 90. 15 in, 30 out at 90. And let's go. Oh, wow. Check it out, guys. It's not even coming out. Massive blockage. Let me try again. It's just dripping out. Nothing's coming out. All right. So I don't want this to explode, so I'm just keeping my hand on it to just let the pressure diffuse lightly. So what happened here? Why didn't it come out? I've actually experienced this before. For me personally, when I have water at a higher temperature, it tends to go through faster, you know? And when it gets to a lower temperature, the water doesn't go through the puck as well. So the only thing that I can think of is that it's because of the water temperature. The lower the water temperature, the less energy, the harder time it has going through against your expectations. So what I want to try just one more time is I'm going to try the same thing again. I'm going to be very careful with my puck preparation, and we'll see what happens next time. I got the water going. Got my scale ready. Okay. Now let's go. This is 90 degrees Celsius. All right. Once again, guys, look at this. Same thing. So our pressure gauge is at 9 and just coming out in drops, right? I even did a slow pre-infusion. This is still what's happening. Okay? Now, maybe you guys may think I'm crazy, but this is just my personal experience, is that when the water temperature is lower, I have a harder time extracting, just like this. I mean, look, this isn't coming out at all. It's just drop after drop after drop, right? Okay, so one thing that we should be checking out for, right, is that when we are lowering the water temperature, we may need to adjust the grind setting on here. So actually on here, so now I'm going to turn this one more down. So this is going to be at 170, and we'll see what this is like here. Or just to be safe, I'll do 171. All right, let's get this going. All right. Okay, you can see I did this way too light. Let's see what we can get out of here. All right. Oh yeah. Okay. So now at this stage, definitely that kind of nuttiness that I really liked was missing a bit. We had a couple of issues here. One, I went 2 steps. I should have just gone 1, but I just wanted to be sure. I only had enough beans for 1 more coffee left, so I want to make sure it was right. And here, I'm getting a lot much more pronounced sourness here. So for me personally, I think going back to 95 and making it a little bit coarser would be ideal for me. So for me with these beans, I really liked it at 163. The grind setting for the Easy Presso JX Pro at 95 degrees Celsius. After you get a little bit coarser and you get a little bit cooler, well then you're going to have a flatter flavor. You're not going to get as much out, and a lot of that tartness, a lot of that acidity is going to stay in, and it's not going to be as pleasant. So like I said, for you guys, when you're experimenting with water temperature, the first thing you want to get right is your grind setting. So find out what a good grind setting would be and try to test it at 95 degrees Celsius. Try to test the water at 95 degrees Celsius. That seems like that's going to be a good baseline for many people. And then from there, after you get that, you can experiment going lower or going higher. If you want to get more of a acidic taste, you should go for a lower temperature. If you want to get a more bitter, kind of a stronger flavor, you should go at a higher water temperature. But at the end, you're the one who decides. I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment box below. And I can't wait to see you guys next time. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.